Hi there, my name is Kader Karan, and what I was just doing is balancing on one leg and on both legs. And this is my project on the cerebellum, which you will find is the reason that I was able to have such good balance. History of the cerebellum. It originates from the Latin word cerebellum, meaning little brain. Knowledge about the cerebellum started with scientists studying damaged cerebellums in animals and people and seeing how this affected the person or animal. They would find animals or pairs people who had damaged cerebellums, and they would see what differentiated them from people who had undamaged cerebellums. And for a long time, this was the only way we got any knowledge about the cerebellum. We did not have the technology to determine what else the cerebellum could do. And now that we have more advanced technology, we are learning more about the cerebellum still to this day. Location and size. It is about at the same level of where your ears are on your head. It is in the back of your head and is on the very bottom of your brain in relation to your brain where your neck meets your skull. So what I always tell people is if you feel that little hump where your skull begins, it's like right underneath there, even with your ears. The average adult cerebellum is about 4.5 inches wide, 1.5 inches tall in the middle, and 2.5 inches tall on the sides. And it weighs about 4.8 ounces to 6 ounces in an adult on average. Functions. It was first thought to only coordinate muscle movements for centuries until other studies proved much more. It controls your balance, which is why I was able to control. I have undamaged cerebellum as far as I know, which is why I was able to balance on one leg successfully and on both legs. Helps your coordination and your motor skills. Cerebellum also has been found to play a role in conscious episodic memory retrieval. Possible effects if damaged. It can make it harder to learn new words or skills. This would make it really hard if, somebody damaged their cerebellum while still in school. It can make it harder for them to be able to progress through high school and college. It can make it harder to judge how far away things are or the size of objects. This would be very detrimental to driving. Imagine looking in your rearview mirrors and you think a car is farther away than it is and you merge. Could cause accidents. Also, in the field of athletics and basketball is what I always go to. If you can't judge how far away the rim is, it'd be hard to play basketball or be able to shoot. And the size of objects, you could think something is way bigger or smaller than it actually is, and that could cause problems as well. If you have damaged cerebellum, the sense of timing could be interfered with. This would affect, like, for example, if you're trying to be on rhythm with a song or tapping along or dancing, this would make it really hard. And then you could have difficulty with coordination and balance. This would make it hard for people to walk normally without help. It makes it people to like catch things harder. And then damaged cerebellums can also cause emotional problems such as social withdrawal, blunted emotional expression, and impulsivity. So this means that people with damaged cerebellums could have a hard time with social interactions, which is very needed in our day-to-day life. Interesting facts about the cerebellum. Even though it is very small, it holds more than half of the neurons in your whole body. I think that is very cool because there's so many bigger parts of our bodies, bigger parts of our brains, and this little part of our brain holds more than half of the neurons that we need to operate on a day-to-day basis. Something else that I found out that was really cool is some people are born without a cerebellum. And when I saw this, I automatically thought that people born without a cerebellum had to have a tough life and struggle and complications. But however, this is not the case. Most of the people who are born without a cerebellum can still live a normal life with few to none complications. I can't really explain it, and it's not a great explanation for why, but if you're born without a cerebellum, it's like your body kind of adapts and makes up for it in other ways. Now, you'll still have few complications that has been found, but you're able to still operate, more so as a normal or a next person who was born with a cerebellum. Now, while this is the case for a lot of people who are born without a cerebellum, some people who are born without a cerebellum have severe complications living and struggle for their whole life. Now, being born without a cerebellum is extremely rare. It was only found in very, very, very few people. And another interesting fact is the cerebellum is compact. I gave you the dimensions of the cerebellum earlier, and I know it could seem very small, but it is folded up and compact. So if it was laid out, it would be over 3 feet wide, which is kind of cool to think that we have something 3 feet wide just smack dab in the middle of our brain, behind our head. I know me personally, I could use 3 feet of height. And here are my references and sources for my favorite brain part, which is the cerebellum. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day.